Hey, what's up guys? My name is Cameron Gallagher, and today we're going to be talking about Davinci Resolve 14. The public beta is out. Now, I need to tell you guys, if you hear this like really annoying hissing sound in the background, that is my central air, so please ignore that. Hopefully it doesn't come up on the mic. If it does, I'm going to try to use some noise reduction. Davinci Resolve, if you didn't know, released Davinci Resolve 14, their public beta at NAB 2017, and basically what they're trying to do is they're trying to rebrand or create this true NLE. So in the past, Davinci Resolve has been the industry standard for color, which of course most of us know that it is the color grading software. You know, if you read American Cinematographer magazine, basically every single movie that has been made in the last, probably 5 years or so, maybe even more, has been graded on Davinci Resolve. So with that being said, basically what Davinci is doing is they're trying to get rid of the stigma that they're just a color software and basically become a full, top to bottom video editor as well as audio editor. I think they've done a very good job. I still think there's a lot of hiccups. Now that could be the beta, the fact that it's a public beta. So of course we'll kind of see how that works. But anyway, I've kind of tried it in the last few days, tried to see how it works, what I like about it, what I don't like about it. So I have a couple small things. And of course I'm still learning on it and trying to transition, but right now, I use Adobe and all the Adobe software, and I do not see myself leaving Adobe for this right now. But I think Davinci is mainly targeting, Blackmagic Design, is mainly targeting Final Cut Pro users. Because if you don't know, so Davinci Resolve 14 Lite, or the regular Davinci, is free, 100% free, which is incredible. No, there's some features that are not there, but it's not anything where you couldn't sit down and still edit perfectly fine. But what they've done is they've now priced their studio version, which has all of their top features, for only $300, which is insane. And again, I think that's a direct comparison to Final Cut Pro X, and I think they're trying to basically take Final Cut Pro X's customers. And before we get into this, I kind of want to talk about that. I think that is the perfect scenario for the software. I think that Davinci Resolve has created a great editing software and color grading software, the best color grading software, and great audio editor so far that will replace Final Cut Pro X. I think there's a lot of tweaks that needs to be made, but I think that it definitely will. I don't think this software can, for me, take over Adobe because I use a lot of the things like Photoshop, Lightroom, After Effects, Audition. Like I use all of those, and for other things like Photoshop and Lightroom for photography, but also Photoshop and making titles and After Effects, things like that. So unless Davinci comes out with an amazing solution for that, I don't see myself leaving Premiere anytime soon. But anyway, so let's kind of get into it. So what I did is I brought in one of my projects that I actually worked on in Premiere and brought it over the XML, which that's my first gripe. This has very bad XML transitioning. Now this could be because it's a beta, but like horrible. I had some serious problems, like it cut footage and stuff. Like it was really, really weird. So either way, I kind of had to fake some things, but so we can see these nicer folders down here, and I'm pretty sure these look different. I can't remember if 12.5 had them this way, but I like the look of them. I like the fact that you can easily make these bins. It just seems a little more neat. I don't know if they've really done a lot different, but it just seems neater. You can also now do collaborative bins, which I think is really cool. So anyway, I brought some footage in, some audio assets. I have a folder for the sequence. So what I did is I brought in all this footage. This is a video for a chiropractor. I'm going to mute these quick. This is a video for a chiropractor I did. And I love the fact that now, and I think you could do this before, but it didn't seem as easy, is just getting this away and having this nice editor. I think this looks a little bit nicer. Now, I know they haven't done a lot, but something about it just seems to look better. So one of the biggest things that I like is this new look, which kind of comes in with these new colors. I love this, and I think Premiere, one of the things I hate about Adobe's labeling is they have not a lot of colors, they're ugly, and they don't give you an idea. I don't know what mango is. I know I'm assuming it's like this, but the fact that Davinci actually gives you these little, it says the color and then shows it is so great, and there's so many different ones. So I love this to stay organized. I could do music or certain things I know this B-roll is this color, that sort of thing. I love that. One thing I don't like is that you can't, from Premiere, you can scroll over here and make the tracks bigger and smaller. I don't like how Davinci has it where you have to go into this menu and you can do really skinny tracks like that. This, and then this. And the video, like, that's not small enough. To me, I want something in between these. Because for me, these are a little bit too big, and these are just a little bit too small. Like, I want to see a little bit of the thumbnail. So that's a small gripe I have, but that's not really anything huge. But again, I love the colors. Now, one thing that you won't see on here because I don't have it, but I had read R3D files that I brought into another project, and it played beautifully. This is ProRes coming from the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera, and it plays perfectly fine. Now, I know I'm screen capturing right here, so if it gets choppy, hopefully it didn't. But anyway, it plays beautifully. And of course, that's ProRes. I don't know about like A7S footage, or I know people are having problems with some of those, but again, I haven't tried that, so I can't really say. I think this is a good editor. My only gripe with the editing portion of this, first off, I don't like how you can't really like size these windows up. Like, I don't like that I can't make a bigger program window and a smaller source. I mean, I could do this, but that's ugly and annoying. I can adjust this, but again, I just kind of wish they had a little bit better of UI movement, and that's one of my other things about this editor that I'm not crazy about. There's a lot of things that you think would make sense. Like, to me, one of Adobe's strengths in Premiere is its ability to, like, if you want to do something, generally it's like physically there. So like if you want to move something or do something, it does that. So for instance, like if I scroll in and I move this clip back, well, actually I gotta scroll forward, hold on. If I'm like here and I try to move this clip back, it doesn't move the timeline. So I can't see if I'm cutting into another clip, which is when I was editing this, I did earlier. I was scrolled in, I started moving a clip, and I didn't, in Premiere, it moves the timeline and shows you, oh, you're overlapping another clip, where this doesn't. It just doesn't move. So it's like small things like that that I think they're honestly big because, if I forgot that I had a couple clips here and I didn't know if I was too close and I like went over and all of a sudden, I gotta, zoom out, Control Z, like it's just annoying to have those problems. So that's one thing I'd really like to see them change is have the timeline move when you move a clip and you're zoomed in. Another thing is just like the simple, like the audio. I just wish that I could open these audio and I can't really see the waveform. It claims there's a waveform here, but I don't see it. So again, that could be a beta thing. I'm not really sure, but that's something because I like to edit dialogue, especially like this, like an interview, based on the waveform. I kind of look like when they pause and that kind of stuff. Other than that, I also wish you could change the keyboard shortcuts. You might be able to, so if somebody knows how to do that, let me know in the comments. But other than those little gripes, which are kind of like nitpicking, I think it's pretty good. Like I said, I think it plays very well. I think it's a good editor. It makes sense. So I feel like once I got the keyboard shortcuts down and that sort of thing, and the little things that are different, I think it's pretty good. Now they have added a new effects library. This doesn't really interest me. Like, I think it's cool they have like this lower third that we could throw in. I probably wouldn't use that very often. I like to go to After Effects or those types of things. Now, this is one thing that I do like too, but can also be a problem, is this like magnetic timeline. One of the things I hated about Final Cut Pro is the magnetic timeline, but I also think it was very clever. For instance, the fact that you can move audio up and down, and granted, this already has extra video clips, but if you didn't, it would make a new track. So I like that. But it also, there's a problem like when I delete stuff or move things that it shifts things a little bit. So I kind of wish that they fine-tune that a little bit. Try to figure out a way to have a good balance between a magnetic timeline. See, so when I deleted this, I'll kind of show you. It shifts everything back. Now, I don't like that. Like, if I delete this, it should only delete that. So that's kind of a problem for me, because then it's like, well, how do I get rid of this? Do I have to just click cut? Yeah. And that's annoying. So I'd have to, what is the Control X? So I don't know. I'm not really a fan of something like that, because to me, that's how, you're editing, you delete a clip, and then suddenly your whole timeline just shifted. Control X. I feel like I'm nitpicking, but I also feel like those are really important things that are, because editing is all about flow and how easy things are. So again, that's a small little problem, but I think they have a decent effects library here that can cover some basic stuff. Nothing crazy. So let's get into the color. Now, I'm not going to talk too much on color because there's nothing out there. Like, Lumetri in Premiere is garbage compared to this. I like Lumetri. I think it's nice and it's quick, but I could color grade this exact same clip for instance, this was fluorescent lights, so like we definitely had some problems. You know, I could come in and I know I can pretty much grade this exactly how I want it, and it's not going to take me very long, and I know it's going to look perfect. Like I can see that in the mids, my blues are a little bit, so I can balance them, drop them a little bit, and immediately the white balance looks so much better. Of course, I can, I can qualify her skin, Shift H to see the qualifier. I think it's a lot more intuitive than Adobe, a lot more. And here I'll kind of just do like a basic grade. So that's pretty good. And I'd probably come in and also do like a little mask, just so it's on her face and not on that like desk or whatever that was. And then we can go into the vector scope and kind of see how we are. Turn on the skin indicator, turn up so we can see it a little better. So I could shift it just a hint over, so we're on that skin tone line, Shift H, and now we have theoretically perfect skin tone. Again, you just saw how easy that was. Like I said, I love the color. Really not a whole lot I can say about that. And again, I don't think that a lot of things have changed in here. I do like how you can see the colors here too. So let's talk about Fairlight. Now what Fairlight is this is basically their new audio editor built in, and I don't know much about Fairlight, but supposedly it was like a software beforehand, like a DAW, like a music production workstation, or excuse me, a film production DAW, so something more along like Pro Tools, that kind of thing. So I think this is really awesome, but I also think there's a lot of things that suck about this. And what I mean is, first off, I love this interface. Love it, love it, love it. I love that you get the video. We can see all of these different, I mean, like some of these things are even above my level of sound. Like I don't do sound design. And I just absolutely love this. So I absolutely love this. And like one of the cool things, I love that you get this full mixer here, the panner, which this is so great, dynamics, EQ, all that stuff, the effects. This reminds me of like working in a DAW. So my biggest problem with Fairlight is the audio effects. There are no audio effects in there. All I have is the VST that I installed. So the problem is my guess is, now granted, I have the free version, I don't have the studio, so I don't know, there could be more, but if this is the way it is, the issue is you're going to have to install VSTs. Now, if you're not familiar with DAWs, which are audio workstation softwares, basically like the video editor of audio, and if you don't know how VSTs, which are basically plugins, work, that's a workaround for some people. Some people are editors, they don't know about VSTs or any of that kind of stuff, and so that causes a problem. The other thing is that VSTs generally cost money. Now, granted, there are a bunch of free VSTs. I believe that Nova one was actually free. But first off, the window's ugly. Like this VST window is really ugly, and that's all VSTs. But you know, the software is $300, but if I have to go in and spend hundreds of dollars on VSTs to get awesome audio control, that's a problem. Because now someone like Adobe, who has a lot of built-in audio effects, now granted, I'm not saying they're the best and they match any VST you can get, but considering it's all in-house, it's just simple. I can drop a compressor or different things like that on, and boom, it's there. So that's my biggest gripe about this Fairlight, is that if it is all VST and there is no built-in effects, to me that's borderline deal breaker in the audio section, not as an editor. So one of the cool things I love though is you can go over here to the pan, and I love the fact that you can easily pan this, like just drag it around. That is awesome. I really wish Premiere had something like this. I'm not exactly sure how to keyframe that yet. I'm going to try to learn that, but if you can easily like keyframe that, that's incredible, because I love to do panning certain things for short films. All right, so let's give it a listen and kind of see what we got here.
Specific kind of adjustment used in.
All right, so we can see that she's way too quiet. So we can actually go here and click on Inspector, which is really cool. This is an equalizer, and my only gripe with this is the fact that it's only within the clip, from what I see. Like, it doesn't look like you can do a track. See, it kind of disappears there. But what I'm thinking is this EQ here, yeah. So this is track. So now I can do some, oh cool, earth, air. So I can do some nice EQ work. So I can kind of bring up, what would be like her voice, sort of something like that. I'm not an audio engineer here, but that would look something like it. And then we can go into the audio 2, which is the music, double click, and I know we're going to want to bring the bass up on that and bring the highs up on that, and we're going to kind of pull it down in that section there. So, and then I know, let's just kind of balance this out and see what we get here.
Specific kind of adjustment used in pregnancy. When I find these restrictions and remove them, it helps the whole nervous system to be boosted.
All right, so there we go. I think that sounds pretty good. The music is nice and loud, but it's still not, getting in the way of her voice, and her voice is really nice. So this mixer, the fact that you can do these EQ and this dynamics too, I'm assuming this is basically a compressor. Yeah. So this is really nice. I haven't totally tried this, but actually, you know what? Let's give it a shot. So I guess they do have a built-in compressor. I just don't see any effects, which I'd love to have like a reverb and noise reduction, that kind of stuff. But let's see how this goes.
And allow your body to do what it is supposed to do, what it's meant to do, which is heal itself and stay healthy. We were meant to stay healthy. We were meant to be well. If you're sick, that means something's going on. You're either not giving your body something it needs or something's in the way, and I come into play with that. I remove these restrictions and get yourself out of your own way.
All right, let's go into the, so that sounds pretty decent. Let's go into the music here and see what we can do.
So that you can it needs or something's in the way, and I come into play with that. I remove these restrictions and get yourself out of your own way so that you can heal. And
okay, I think that sounds pretty good. So I think we have a really nice sounding audio here.
Used in pregnancy. When I find these restrictions and remove them, it helps the whole.
Now again, I'm not an audio engineer, so I'm not going to tell you everything I did was right. I basically just mess around with stuff until I think it sounds good. I think this is really, really good. I think this is a massive step in the right direction. Now, again, delivery is pretty much the same from what it looks like. You can select your timeline, deliver it to wherever you want to go. Yeah, that's pretty simple. So, overall, I'm very impressed with Davinci Resolve 14. I'm sorry this is kind of a lengthy video, but I really wanted to show you guys what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it. First off, this is the best free editor that you can get, hands down. I believe that it has outdone HitFilm at this point. HitFilm is great for visual effects, but at the moment, as an editor and just all-around software, Davinci Resolve 14 has completely blown HitFilm out of the water now with its awesome audio features and stuff like that. The great thing is this is a pro software that doesn't have as many... Oh, and it crashed. All right, so it just crashed. So like I was saying, this is a beta. I would not right now do anything important on this. I would not edit anything important on this or do anything that you need to have in a timely manner. As you can see, it crashed, and it looks like it got rid of... Yeah, it's really strange. It seems to get rid of certain things. Hold on, let's see here. Yeah, it didn't save it, even though I saved it. So that's kind of a fear of mine right now. So again, this is all I think just beta stuff. But either way, this as a software, once these little bugs are fixed, is absolutely amazing. I think it knocks HitFilm out of the water, and I think it's something that I think it will be a Final Cut Pro X substitute, and I think it'll honestly outdo Final Cut Pro X soon with maybe some incremental updates, and it has potential to be something that you would replace Adobe with. In certain scenarios, someone like me who owns a production company and who's doing, motion graphics themselves and doing lots of photography and things in Photoshop, all that kind of design, I can't justify leaving Premiere, but it is definitely something that, in the next couple of years, who knows if Davinci Resolve does really well and moves their way up, it could be something that could, replace. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this video. I just think it's amazing that Blackmagic comes in and they just really set the tone for the whole market, and they just keep pushing things further and further, helping drive prices down even more. So kudos to Blackmagic on that. And I really hope that this software gets some little bug fixes and a couple things like that, because I think it'll be an amazing software. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, leave comments down below on videos you guys want to see. I know I've kind of been, a little lazy on my videos recently, but I've had a lot of work to do, but I have a lot of stuff planned in the future, so please comment, do that kind of stuff. And I have been putting Amazon affiliate links in all of my videos. If you order anything, it doesn't have to be film related, but through those links, that helps me out big time, because it gives me a little extra cash to work with, so I can either rent some equipment to kind of test out or buy some stuff on Amazon to try to test out. I try not to like pocket that money. I try to use that back into the channel. So please, if you could use those affiliate links, that would be really awesome to support the channel. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys soon.